Di menino.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for taking time and joining this session. If you don't have notepad and pen and paper handy, I mean, you can keep it ready. So I request everyone to please put on your mics mute. I am sure that everybody's mic sets on mute. I would request also the guest whenever the person who's like to speak, he can unmute and speak. Otherwise, we should not be disturbance to others. Yes, today's is the one of the most buzzed topic in the industry. I mean, whether it's jobs, it's learning, whether it's like further growth, data analytics has become now one of the most buzzed word. And all the industries and all the domains are investing so much on this area. And there are a lot of job opportunities also getting in, and cater to that. Most importantly, big organizations like Amazon has ventured and invested so much because this understands a lot of things about the human behavior. I mean, the predictive analysis and a lot of things are happening on this area. So there's a lot of opportunities. So I request all the participants to ask as many questions as much as possible. Yes, we will have a questionnaire session at the end, but you may put your questions in the chat box. I will have a look at the end. If you are not able to hear, do let us know. You can probably log in and log out. I think that should be fine. Okay, so yeah, today we'll have a look at this topic called data analytics and how is it, and right from scratch, and we'll also speak about. So I requested all the participants to be on mute, and including the guest as well. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Let's, without any further delay, we will start the program today. So yeah, quickly, that's the program agenda, and this webinar will help you to understand about the industry and knowledge, and you'll get the handbook for this program, and it will be really sufficient here. So to give a brief introduction about our organization, TVS Training Services is one of the group companies of TVS Group, which predominantly caters to a technical education. We work with government, add value to the diploma, engineering, all these students, and cater to that. We also work with bank sector, and we train the students, and we also is in the banking. More importantly, we work with top-notch organizations. We also train their employees. We also train students and place them. So yeah, heck a lot of it. I do not want to go much in deep. You can probably visit the website called www.tvsts.com, tvstrainingservices.com. So you can see all these things. So we have a lot of programs, right from emerging technologies to conventional manufacturing programs, placement oriented programs, short-term programs, building a bridge between the corporate and as well as right from all the areas. So you can have a look at it. I will not take much of time in this slide, and probably I'll quickly introduce our guest today. Guest for the day is Mr. Shanmugasundaram, who comes from computer science and immense computer science knowledge. His bachelor's in computer science and as well as the master's in that area. His focused area is more on the data analytics, AI, all these areas, and he is a consultant for a lot of organizations. Teaching is one of his passions, and he guides a lot of students. We welcome you, Mr. Shanmugasundaram. Thanks for taking time and coming as a guest as of today. I hope my voice is loud and clear. If you are unable to hear me out, you can let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Samiuddin, for a nice introduction.
Yeah. Yes, please go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I would like to know from the participants whether I am audible. If you have any issues, please let me know.
I am loud and clear. I'm able to hear you loud and clear, Mr. Shanmugh Sundaram. There is no issue. So I think there is audience will also. If you have, yeah, I think that there are some responses from the students. So I look into that, Shanmugh Sundaram. So no issue.
Sure.
I will also take the questions from them and I'll place it to you. So nevertheless, we can go ahead with that. And guys, if you are unable to view, if the room is full, this program is viewed on the YouTube as well. So we have shared the link, and please log into TVS Training Services channel, and you can find this program, and this is on live on there, so you can make use of it. Yes, Mr. Shanmugh Sundaram. I think the students are much more awaited, and I'm seeing a lot of this on my mobile, seeing the students is sir, the room is not, it's full, so the demand for this area itself is by and large shows about it.
Yes.
The program is live on YouTube. Please make use of that as well. Yes, the question for the day, what is data analytics and what is its relevance in the present day context? So Mr. Shanmugh Sundaram, what is, like, before 3-4 years, maybe in 2014, this was something, there's a word called big data came in, then R programming, data science, then today a lot of words this. So if you could tell what is data analytics in the current context, and what is its relevance in the present day? Dear participants, just give me 2 minutes. There's some, I think there's some technical glitch. Hello. So Shanmugh Sundaram, I'm sure you are back, and I think if you're able to hear us, you can probably unmute yourself. Mr. Shanmugh Sundaram, if you're able to hear me out, please unmute and let us know. Dear participant, please bear with us for a couple of minutes. I'm sure this will be over by another 2 minutes, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, and I'm able to hear your voice.
Okay.
So yeah, without further delay, I mean, I think sorry, it was some technical glitch. So Shanmu Sundram, I repeat the question: what is the data analytics, and what is its relevance in the present day context?
Okay. See, as you all know, if you say data analytics, it's two words, right? Data, I think you all know, right? So we have to do some intelligent analysis. Okay. So why should we do this? Why is it more predominant in today's industry? This is what the question Mr. Sami has posed to me. Basically, we want to take some informed decisions. Okay, any organization today wants to take some informed decisions. How can they do that? How is it possible for them to take informed decisions? For that, they have to perform some analysis of data. Okay, and that is where this data analytics comes into play. Okay, so data analytics, if you look at, is in the broader sense coming under data science. So I can say data science can be seen as the holistic thing under which we have this data analytics, okay, and machine learning, vision, all these are subdomains. And this entire data science is obviously part of artificial intelligence. Okay, so to make our life simpler, to understand it in a better way, I will start with a very simple example. Hopefully, you will be able to understand much better when we take up that example. For example, let's say I tell you some 4 numbers. Okay, so 38, 31, 27, and 24. Now, if I ask you, what can you say about these numbers? Can any one of you respond and tell me, what is this? What is this number? What are these? What are these? Basically, whatever I've told.
Dear students, you can put the response in the chat box.
No, it's not odd numbers because I told 38 also now. So they're just integers, right? I can say positive integers. Okay, now let us assume that you are watching news and you are watching the 9 o'clock national news channel, and you are watching the weather report. Now, what can you say about it? Now, what can you say about these 4 numbers? Exactly. They are nothing but the temperatures recorded in 4 metropolitan cities. Now, I first told you 4 numbers, but when you are looking at those numbers in a particular context, okay, you get more information about it. For example, it may say in centigrade. Okay, so that is the attribute. So I have raw data, which is 38, 24 and all. Then I add some attribute like centigrade, and then it becomes more meaningful for you. That is information. So information is nothing but data plus attribute. Okay, now I ask you, which is the hottest city today? What will you do? Which is the hottest metropolitan city today? What will you do? Anyone, please? No, how did you infer Delhi or Chennai, whatever it is? I just told some 4 numbers. Okay, So what you did is you arranged these numbers in some order. Let us say in decreasing order. Now, the hottest city is the one on the top of that list. All right. So that becomes knowledge. So initially we started with data. Then I added some attribute. Then it became information. Now I told you to arrange these. There is a procedure which I add to it, which will sort these numbers. So obviously it becomes knowledge. Suppose you are a sales manager and you have to choose one of the cities to visit today. Suppose you have the liberty to choose one of these cities. Obviously, you will not choose the hottest city because no one wants to go and stay in a hot city. All right. So that action out of the knowledge is intelligence. So we started with data, then we add some attributes, it becomes information. Then I add some procedures and converted it into knowledge. And the action out of this knowledge is what we call as the intelligence. Okay, so this is what I really want to do when I perform analytics. I want to come out with some intelligent actions. Okay, so I may be interested in applying some methods, algorithms, so that I get more relevant and meaningful actions out of this. This is the whole purpose of data analytics.
Thank you, Shanmugam. I think that elaborates very well in terms of the temperature, in terms of the present day and everything. So, can we have, like, for example, can we have one business example? For in case a lot of today e-commerce is getting into that and everything. So, if I think this is more in terms of e-commerce and everything, that's how I think it was the present boom of this data analytics. So that had shown the path for all the other organizations. So we will also throw light at the end about the e-commerce and how this is evolved into other industries as well. So thank you very much for the first question, elaborated answer. So dear participants, we request you to put on mute, and if in case you want to ask questions, you can put it on the chat box. And please, if the room is full, you can view this on the YouTube. Okay. So we have put that. I request my team members to put that in the chat box as well. And you have received the mail of that YouTube link. So please do that. And if in case you still not done, please you can push to the. You can let us know. Okay. So yeah, quickly I will move on. So yeah, the next question: why has this data science and business analytics become more popular in today's business?
Okay, so there are many reasons. Okay, there are many business and technical reasons for why there is much of talk about this. As Samyuddin was wonderfully explaining at the beginning, this has become a big buzzword. Today, everybody talks about data science. In fact, I would go to the extent of telling that the next 5 years, okay, there is going to be lots and lots of opportunities in this field. Already that transition has happened. I know people who are already in software business, software industry working, they are able to make a switch into this field with better prospects. Okay, there are many reasons. First, I will analyze the technical reasons. Okay, there is a plenty of data available today, especially in data analytics. We talk about what we call as the unstructured data. Okay, so what do I mean by unstructured data? For example, today, every one of you have an email address. Okay, every one of you have accounts in Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So all this social media today has a huge presence a huge presence among people. So they generate data. Okay, it has been recently surveyed and found that more than 50 petabytes of data is being generated by Facebook every day. That means there is a voluminous data that's coming up. And as Samyuddin was telling you in the beginning, big data came into picture only few years back, but has boomeranged and is really making lots and lots of advances because the cost of storage has come down drastically. Okay, so some 10 years back, even 1 GB or 2 GB of memory is very expensive. But today, even in your mobile phone, you have 16 GB, 128 GB, okay, 256 GB. Even there are 512 GB processors available. So there is plenty of data, okay, plenty of data storage. The data storage cost has come down drastically. Then processing power, okay, the power of computing has enormously increased. Okay, especially if you are trying to look into these data science applications, we have Google Colab and so many interesting tools available, which are freely being given to researchers and developers. And these two technical reasons, okay, the exponential growth of data and the processing power have necessitated people to delve into data and analyze. Then comes the business reasons. I would like to quote two important reasons here. Okay, number one, competitive intelligence. Today, you take any industry, even the recent electric vehicle industry, if you take, for example, Tata has come out with Nexon. So what they do, they analyze the past buying experience of the customers. Okay, and based on this buying behavior, they want to come out with some innovative products that will be better over their competitors. So this competitive intelligence necessitates the data scientists to come out with innovative data science products that can be customized for different industries. Okay. Then the second one is consumer behavior. Okay. In continuation with what I was talking about, the consumer behavior has changed drastically. Okay. In fact, even in the electoral process, now what they do is they try to understand the voter behavior. So when there is a lot of data available, you can actually try to understand how the customer behaves. Okay, how the customer, in the sense, it can be a voter, or he can be someone who is buying a car or a two-wheeler or whatever it is. For example, I would give you an example, a practical example. See, you know that in Chennai, old Mahabalipuram, the OMR is the IT corridor. So every May or June, you can see that most of the automobile companies, sales outlets that are available in those regions, what they do is they give offers. They know that during that particular period, there will be bonus being given, promotions being given to these IT employees. They will definitely go for buying a better car or better two-wheeler or whatever it is. So this analysis has become very, very critical for the business, irrespective of what kind of business they do. So these are some of the major reasons why this particular field of data science and business analytics is growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, you would be surprised to know that in the recent 2 years, more than 150 new tools and products have come up, which are focused on providing informed and intelligent decision-making capacities to the business. So,
very good answer, Shanmugasundaram. I think that was a much elaborated. To add this, I think so. Few examples which I wanted to. I mean, in my past things. I mean, I read one of the case studies. So one company did a big analysis on the Indian consumer behavior. I mean, the customers who buy the products, all they look as this company had completely put on a big report saying that all the Indian customers or the Indian people by and large looking more for their sentiments gets inclined towards the offers, towards the freebies and everything. So what they did is, if they built an app and they came out with a strategy saying that like the first order would be free, the first booking would be free, and so that they get the first the customers, the pool and pools of customers once it's inside. So then the buying pattern also is understood once the customer installs the app and everything. So I think by and large, this technology is helping a lot of industries, and that's where I think the opportunities also is looking good for every person who specializes. So that, thank you very much, Shanmugasundaram, for the detailed answer. So we'll quickly move on to the next question. We have a lot of questions, so I would request you to keep it a little bit short, so that we can take the questions from the people as well. Yeah. What are the key business areas where data analytics is being predominantly used?
okay. Yeah, you asked the right question. Okay, a very relevant question today. And see, one interesting thing which I would like to tell you is almost every business has roped in and is investing in huge quantity as far as this business intelligence is concerned. Okay, data science and business analytics and business intelligence is concerned. But I would like to quote few which are being most commonly used by everybody. Number one, transportation. Okay, so transportation, if you look at today, the brick and mortar transport is no more valid. Today, the biggest transport in local, in any of the Chennai city, I mean, any of the Indian cities is through Ola or Uber and all that. What they do, okay, they don't own the vehicles, but they rent the vehicles from different owners and then try to do a complete data analysis on a day-to-day basis. In fact, in one of my earlier projects last year, I was working on some Uber data analysis. Okay, so every day in and out, day out, if you look at 24/7, these Uber data is being generated. Okay, so based on the customer's needs. Okay, for example, if you take some areas in Chennai like Kannanagar or Ambachur or whatever it is, so there will be lots and lots of transport cars being hired to move to industrial areas, be it IT industry or automobile or whatever it is. So what actually happens is, okay, in transportation domain, there is a huge demand for data analytics. Then the logistics and delivery. Okay, logistics and delivery today, if you look at, there is lots and lots of competition. Okay, so the competition can be overcome only if, as Mr. Samiuddin was mentioning one example, you have to give some discounts or some offers to the customers, first-time users, and so on. Similarly, in manufacturing industry, there is a lots and lots of demand. Okay, intelligent manufacturing, computer integrated manufacturing, all this today need data generation. There's a lot of data being generated. those data has to be analyzed and they have to be properly inferred. Then security. When I say security, it's about the share market analysis. Then education. Okay, lots and lots of MOOCs. I think many of you would have heard of MOOCs, right? So massive open online courses have come. There again, they analyze the student behavior. Then healthcare, a very huge demand. Okay, then defense. So whatnot. I can keep on giving you different case studies, but unfortunately, we do not have sufficient time to analyze in a small an hour webinar like this. But still, when we go in detail into the courses and all that, the more case study analysis will help you in understanding how this is being done.
Thank you, Shamsu. I think that was a very good example as well. When there are good questions are coming in, I think we'll take that in the answer. The last. Dear students, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat box. I will take that in the end. Quickly move on to the next question. Where do you see data analytics in 5 years and 10 years from now? Before taking this question, probably if you could also answer, there is a lot of this data has come. The websites and the applications like Gmail, Facebook, YouTube, which handles tons and tons of data and with that lightning speed. At the same time, there are certain Indian portals where like booking portals and everything that gets freezed, or the university portals at the time that gets freezed. So where do you think there's a gap? And probably then we can go to this question, Mr. Muslim.
Okay. See, that is one of the, we in computer science, we talk about what we call as the fault tolerant computing. Okay. I don't know. I think I have to quote one real-time scenario. I think every one of you know about the 9/11 attack in US. Okay. So that attack was mainly aimed at destabilizing the economy of the United States of America. So what they did is they tried attacking the Twin Towers mainly because they know that many big financial institutions like Merrill Lynch and all that, their headquarters were stationed there. And in fact, it affected the US economy for at least, it took at least 5 to 6 years for the US to come back from that. And then they realized that reliability is mainly based on redundancy. So today, if you take Google server sits in every country. For example, in India, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IIT Madras, then in Delhi IIT, these are the places where Google server is located. So the same data gets replicated in multiple servers. So you can rely on the data only if there is a redundancy. That's why we say redundancy for reliability. Okay, so extending this discussion, we now have the concept of virtual workspaces. Today, every organization has virtual workspaces. And in this pandemic situation, especially if you see, these virtual workspaces are helping the employees to sit from their home remotely and then still connect to various servers and then try to do. And there are lots of tools which are there in this particular aspect, like GitHub and so on. There are so many. Okay. Similarly, cloud. Okay. In cloud, there are many issues like security and all that. But given all these constraints, but still people are able to work around that and then try to come back with cloud solutions, especially focused in designing and developing some efficient applications in this data science and business analytics. Then another interesting domain which is coming up like anything, probably those who are interested in doing these programs should focus on semantic web. Okay, Semantic Web has taken leaps and bounds in the past 2 years. Okay, the web as such today, for example, if you're trying to search for some item, okay, for example, you are trying to search for apple, okay, it may be fruit or it may be even Mac device, all right? So context sensitive searches are being introduced by Google, and context aware computing, we say. This context aware computing is coming up in a big way, okay? So in semantic web, in computer science, they talk about what they call as latent semantic analysis, LSA algorithms, which are getting embedded into the business intelligence applications so that meaningful and context sensitive and user oriented searches are now coming up slowly. These are getting introduced into the conventional Google search algorithms and so on. Okay. Then customer relationship management, a huge domain which has picked up a lot in the past 2 years, and it will definitely going a long way. This is ECRM. Okay, so this is one of the domains where, again, these are some of the areas which I see will have huge progression in this direction.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it was fantastic. I think it was a very elaborated one. We will definitely take questions from the students. Please, students, you can post your questions. We will answer it at the end. I see some fantastic questions. Mr. Shanmugam, I think we'll quickly move on. I do not want to add flavors to this question. We'll quickly move on to the next question, and then we'll have to give some time to the students which have their fantastic aspirations, and a lot of people, since this platform itself is like more aspiring for them, and a lot of students have a lot of work on this area, and they wanted to build their careers. So I think we'll focus on that in the questions, and probably I also request the students to post their questions. So yeah, we'll quickly go on to this question, Mr. Shanmugam. We'll take some 2 to 3 minutes. Why is an early start in data analytics is more relevant for budding technocrats, business professionals?
Okay, this is one of the most interesting questions, I would say. Okay, it's a very simple equation: demand versus supply. Okay,
absolutely.
It has been. I was reading one research article by Gartner. Okay, Gartner is one of the big management consulting publishers, and the Gartner report says that even if, especially in a country like India, even if 1 lakh people or 2 lakh people get trained in this 2022, they say there will be a gap between the demand and supply to the level of, they say, like 3 to 4 lakh people who will be needed, which means it's the right time for people, especially people who are already in the industry, or people who are especially the 3rd years or 4th years, or students who are interested, can make this opportunity at this stage to get trained and become employable. Okay, today, you know that with the mushrooming of the educational institutions, especially engineering institutions, what's happening is people come out of the colleges, but still they're not readily employable. Okay, so if you have to become readily employable, then if you add to your skill set, okay, these data science skills, then that is where you become better and better and become more employable. When I say employable, okay, there are particular ways by which we can do it in data science. Okay, it's not like the conventional Java or C++ or anything like that. Here you have to prove your mettle through your online presence. There are ways to do that. If you can make that happen, then I can confidently say that when you complete your degree, or if you have already completed, within a period of 6 to 8 months,
you will become readily employable, and easily you will be able to join as a data analyst or data engineer or junior data scientist, or if you are already experienced, you can become a data scientist and so on. So these are some of the opportunities that are waiting for you.
Thank you so much. So now I think quickly we will move to the questions. And dear students, you can post questions here. So Shanmugam, before getting into the question part of it, I would like to understand, there are a lot of students who are from particularly in manufacturing, I mean, say of like mechanical, automobile engineering. Let's take it as a mechanical engineers. A student who has studied mechanical engineering, probably for some reason he has got the hinge, or he's got the inclination suddenly because of this data analytics, and he started building this. And what is the opportunities and where is the area? How does the scope look like for mechanical engineers? I mean, in the what area is particularly, because if you talk to him in terms of Java, C++, he will not be specialized in that. Okay. So what are your recommendations for mechanical engineers or automobile engineers, hardcore guys on these areas?
Yeah, very good question. In fact, many people usually think that you have to be a computer science student, or you should have electronics background, or generally circuit branches, they say. But it's not so. The reason is data science, basically, if you look at it, has two parts. One is the coding and all that, which anyway, anyone who has a good logic and problem solving techniques will be able to do it. Okay. But if you look at the other side, if you are, for example, if you join as a data scientist, let's assume you are joining as a data scientist 4. Okay. The domain knowledge is very much relevant for you to become a successful data scientist. That domain knowledge is where an automobile engineer or a mechanical engineer or a manufacturing technologist will have the edge over the computer science guys. Okay. That domain knowledge, one who has in a particular field. Okay, you see, you can't be a data scientist and solve all kinds of problems, but you will be a data scientist who will be preferred by automobile domain or a manufacturing domain. Okay, so that is where a mechanical engineer or a manufacturing technologist will have an edge over the others. So the domain knowledge will help them in shaping themselves as a better data scientist.
So Shanmugam, I think that was a fantastic point. Even I wanted to throw light on certain points. In today's scenario, in education scenario, what happens is engineer is just not looked as an engineer. He is looked, I mean, he is supposed to have all the skills, but one particular area is being looked as in-depth skills. So if he walks inside an organization, he should have an entrepreneurial approach. Whether it's any domain, I mean, whatever it is, he should possess cybersecurity. For example, if he's working in manufacturing, he should have a basic cybersecurity knowledge, what has to do's and don'ts for the manufacturing. So same goes with, I think, data science. And like you said, he will definitely will be given an edge in terms of an automobile company where if he specializes in data science. And I think cater to that, there is a lot of innovations for mechanical and automobile engineers for the upcoming segments, because there's a lot of work is going on in the electronic vehicle and industry 4.0, and there are a lot of things coming on. So yes, we'll quickly move on to the next question. There is a repeated question: what is the career path for the data scientist? I think, yeah, different grades in a core. I think yes, the basic eligibility is what is required for the fresher. That's a nomenclature which is fixed by the organization that will continue to do that. But if you possess a good skill, I think it doesn't stop you to grow. So what are the basic skills needed to become a data analyst? So I think, Shanmugam, if you could just give them a one-line answer, what are the basic skills? So definitely without any external training, I'm sure that we cannot cope up with the organization requirements. So if in your language, you can tell them.
Okay. See, there are in fact, 3 languages that are programming languages that are being used predominantly in data science industry. Number 1, Python. Number 2, R language. R programming language is a pure statistical programming language. Then Julia. Okay, Julia has come up very recently in the past 1 year. And so you don't have to be good in all the three, but you have to be strong in one of this. Okay. And if you look at the current scenario, more than 70 to 80% of the data science applications are being written in Python. So you have to make yourself good in Python. Then you have to have good knowledge in statistics. Without statistical knowledge, without statistics knowledge, it's not possible for you to go further in data science. Okay, I will tell you the reason why. See, all said and done, without the availability of data, there is no data science. Okay, the data is the core here. Data is the oil for the machine to run here. So when we talk about the data, you have to have the skills to explore the data and understand the data, for which the statistical knowledge is very relevant. Okay. Then after this, the machine learning algorithms. Okay. So there are many machine learning algorithms available. Okay. So there are supervised learning algorithms, unsupervised learning algorithms. So all this, when you do a formal course, you will be able to catch up with that. Then we have another big subdomain called predictive analytics. And if you have good grasp of this predictive analytics skills, then you are a master in data science. These are the fundamental skills which you are expected to learn in a period of say 6 to 8 months to become a full-fledged, full-stack data science developer.
Thank you. The next question, there's a very good question, Mr. Shanmugasundaram. I mean, if a mechanical engineer and a computer science engineer is applying for a data analyst job, data analytics job, and both possess the same skill, who is preferred first? If I would be in your shoes, I would answer that like who possesses the more of a domain knowledge will be given an edge. But I think industries in today's scenario are quite open. So I would tell the student is, if you master and if you possess good knowledge, and if you satisfy the need of the organization, I think the door is always, the organization always opens the door. And it's all about like how you learn, what you learn, how do you express that in your resume and get a slot for an interview, and then how do you translate to that to the organization, that's the HR. So that's how it goes about it. So I'll take a few more questions. So yeah, there is a lot of repeated questions, but everybody is asking what is the basic skills to become a data analyst? Before parking this question, can I rephrase this question? Is there any prerequisite for learning this program, or probably to specialize in this area?
Okay. See, to add to what Mr. Samidin was answering, I would like to put one interesting twist to the whole thing. See, unlike the conventional, that's why I told you, unlike the conventional programming courses like Java and all that, here what happens is typically you have to work with case studies, okay, and you have to build a profile. Okay. So whether you are a mechanical engineer or an automobile engineer or a computer science engineer or an electrical engineer, okay, the more case studies you take and solve by yourself, the real world data is available in the internet, solve it, come out with some solutions and add it to your profile. Okay. So normally what happens is, I don't know, some of you might have friends from architectural background. What architecture students do is, when they complete their 5-year course, they will have a profile ready where you would have created some interesting designs and all that. Similarly here, you must construct a profile and keep it, and that link should be available in your resume. This is number one, your data science profile. Then there are lots of data science competitions available. Okay, open to everyone through Kaggle, Machine Hack, and so many are available. Okay, so you have to compete, you have to participate, and from a novice level, you have to move. Okay, if you become an expert in that by adding points, by actively participating in these competitions and contribute towards the data science community, then you become a hot cake in the industry. You don't have to really worry about your degree. In fact, I met one of the data scientists, very senior data scientist in Bangalore. She was basically a BA literature. Believe me, she's a BA English literature. Okay, and after doing a course, she had been actively building her profile, and within a year, she has got placed as a data scientist. So they don't care about your basic degree. Don't worry whether you have a computer science and all that stuff. Degree is not so important, but how you learn these skills and then how you build your profile really makes the difference.
Right. Thank you, Shanmugasundaram. Shanmugasundaram, I have one more question, which is a little bit confusing for me, but I think when students are asking, what are the difficulties in Indian companies are facing in terms of data analytics? By and large, because if you also see the companies which are using are most of the abroad organizations, but yes, India is also scaling up. But where does the challenge lies for the organizations? So that these kids can learn that and can help the organizations and build that career on those angles.
Okay, yeah, very, very interesting, very relevant question too. Okay, you see, one thing is like most of the times, most of the institutes which offer these programs, what they do is they ask you to get trained in Python, they ask you to get trained on probability, statistics, and so on, algorithms and all that. But what they don't tell you is you should focus on one domain. Okay, you can choose your domain, maybe a manufacturing or whatever it is, and accrue business knowledge. Okay, that business knowledge, that's where the Indian companies are normally not up to the mark as far as the MNCs are concerned. Okay, so there are good programmers available here, but here is the domain where, here is the field where it's not enough you just know how to code. You should also have the relevant business knowledge. Okay, because you are having, for example, you may be provided with 3 lakh data or 10 lakh data or 5 lakh data. You can't take all the 5 lakh data and process it and then come out with some meaningful conclusions. So what you have to do, sometimes you may have to drop out some data or pick only some relevant data. To pick the relevant data, you need business knowledge. Okay, you must have some domain knowledge. So that domain specific trainings, focus on one domain, will help you to become a better and the most successful data science engineer or data engineer or a data analyst in a typical Indian scenario.
Thank you, Shanmugasundaram. I think that one student wants to also understand. He has probably become your little bit fan of yours. He's also posted me a question saying that what is the largest data you have worked with, and what was the objective of it?
Okay, see, I was working, in fact, in the recent time, I was working on a project which was a product-based work, yeah, similar to LinkedIn. Okay, so you know what is LinkedIn doing, right? So it provides you with a platform on connecting the people and the employees and the employers, okay, and providing job opportunities and so on. Okay, so a similar product is being developed by a company, an European company, for which I am a consultant. Okay, so there we are building knowledge graph, a knowledge graph kind of thing, where a particular job requirement comes, you have to match amongst the talent pool that is available. There may be 10,000 people who are who are in that particular manufacturing thing, but this particular job description may have one
Sorry.
nice skill. Yeah.
So you'll have to repeat the last two sentences. I mean, I think there was some internet issues.
Yeah, one particular Nike skill may be the requirement from that particular employer. Now you have to do the mapping, right? So this mapping is a very complex task, given that that skill may not be directly available amongst these 10,000 or 15,000 aspirants. So you have to do a pick, we say a pick and match kind of thing. Okay, a very complex algorithm. I will not go into the complexity of the algorithm, but still, this is one of the interesting case studies which I was working, and that work is still going on currently.
Thank you, Mr. No more questions. Dear students, if you have any questions, do call us, and you can ask at the end. If you have any questions more than this, we'll be sending you the recording. Please have a look at it in case if some of the students have missed it. Any which ways, this was live on the YouTube as well. So we will send you the recording. Have a look at it. If you still have any questions, you can call us. That's number one. And we will be shortly starting up on a short-term program in online. So you can also get enrolled for that. And we are rolling out scholarships. So if students has a good track record, they will get scholarships as well. So all for those details, please do contact this number. We'll also get in touch with you. We will also, as informed, we'll also send you the handbook for data analytics. Please make use of it. If in case any queries, any point of time, the coordinates, the numbers, everything is below. So thank you very much once again for taking time. This event will be uploaded in the YouTube. Whenever you want, you can view it. So, and thanks for taking time, Mr. Shanmugasundaram. Your information will be really useful for our students and working professionals who have also joined in. So thank you very much. I think the students have also enjoyed this session. So anyways, we'll allow you to go, and we'll also take leave. Thank you, Mr. Shanmugasundaram.
Thank you, Samyuddin, for giving me this opportunity. I thank all the participants for their patient time and giving me some opportunity to interact with you all. Thank you so much.